Hey there, hungry viewers! Welcome to a tasty journey where economics meets your favorite fast food. Tonight, we're diving into the fascinating world of economics, but fear not, we're doing it with a delicious twist that will make your mouth water. Forget those boring textbooks. We're talking about the Big Mac Index, a fun and tasty way to understand complex economic concepts. You heard right. That iconic double-decker burger isn't just a fast food staple, it's also a surprisingly useful tool for understanding global economics and currency values. Invented by The Economist magazine back in 1986, the Big Mac Index helps us compare the value of different currencies in a simple and relatable way. Think of it this way, the Big Mac is like a standardized basket of goods, beef, cheese, lettuce, the works. It's a universal product that everyone knows and loves. It's produced mostly, consistently around the world, making it a perfect benchmark for comparison. By comparing the price of a Big Mac in different countries, we can get a sense of whether currencies are overvalued or undervalued, giving us insights into the global economy. So, buckle up because things are about to get economically delicious. Get ready to see your favorite burger in a whole new light. Now let's dive into the economic theory behind this burger-based index, purchasing power parity, or PPP for short. It's a fascinating concept that helps us understand how currencies should ideally work in a global market. Don't worry, it's not as complicated as it sounds. In fact, it's quite intuitive once you get the hang of it. PPP essentially argues that in the long run, exchange rates should even out so that the same basket of goods, in our case, a Big Mac, costs the same everywhere. This means that a Big Mac should have the same price tag, no matter where you are in the world. Imagine if a Big Mac cost $5 in the US, but only €2 in Europe. This price difference creates an opportunity for profit. People would be lining up to buy Big Macs in Europe and sell them in the US for a profit, right? This is known as arbitrage, and it's a key concept in understanding PPP. This arbitrage would eventually drive up the price of the euro and lower the price of the dollar until the Big Mac cost roughly the same in both places. This balancing act is what PPP is all about. That's PPP in action. It's a dynamic process that helps maintain balance in the global economy. Of course, the real world is a bit more complex than a fast food arbitrage scheme. There are many factors at play, including government policies, market conditions, and economic stability. But you get the idea. Understanding PPP gives us a useful framework for thinking about how exchange rates and prices interact on a global scale. Let's say a Big Mac costs $5 in the US today, and £4 in the UK right now. According to PPP, the exchange rate should be $1.25 per pound. 5 divided by 4 equals 1.25. Now let's imagine the actual exchange rate is $1.50 per pound. This means the pound is overvalued compared to the dollar because you're getting fewer dollars for your pound than you should based on the Big Mac comparison. See, economics can be fun and interesting, especially when it involves delicious burgers. The Big Mac Index is a fun and accessible way to understand complex economic concepts like exchange rates and purchasing power parity, or PPP. Created by The Economist in 1986, it uses the price of a McDonald's Big Mac as a benchmark to compare the purchasing power of different currencies. It's a handy tool for investors, policymakers, and anyone who wants to get a quick snapshot of how currencies are performing. By comparing the cost of a Big Mac in various countries, you can get a sense of whether a currency is undervalued or overvalued. However, it's important to remember that the Big Mac Index has its limitations. It simplifies a very complex subject and doesn't account for all the variables that can affect currency value. It doesn't take into account things like transportation costs, taxes, local competition, or the fact that people in different countries might just have different tastes in burgers. These factors can all influence the price of a Big Mac and by extension the index. So, while the Big Mac Index shouldn't be the only tool in your economic toolbox, it's certainly a tasty and engaging way to get a grip on global currency markets. It offers a unique perspective that can complement more traditional economic indicators. And hey, if it gets people talking about economics, that's a win in our book. After all, making complex topics more relatable and fun is always a good thing. Good.